Awesome.
Okay, ladies, I have a special guest coming in hot. Maylene May, who has worked in the back end of some insanely successful businesses and brands, and also has her own massively successful business online. And I know that you are like the perfect person whose brain we need to pick today on how to literally generate leads for your business because you're going to have so much insight into this. So, first, did you want to just introduce yourself and give us a little bit more about who you help and how you serve, and then we'll jump in.
Amazing, Mara. Thank you so much for having me here. And hello to everyone who's going to be watching this. I'm so excited. I love meeting other women. So, my name is Maylene, and I started out for many, many years in person where I would like literally hand out flyers to get sales for businesses, like a hand. So I've done all the sales processes in all the ways. And then obviously in 2020, we all became online and I fell into doing like lead generation for businesses. And that led me into community management and helping people with community and building their businesses through community, which is now so much more important because of AI, because AI is something that isn't going to be replacing communities. So I help women really I'm doing this thing about seven sins, uncover the seven sins that basically hold them back so they can really live the life that they really want to live, but also build a community because I do believe that we need a community around us to reach the different levels we are. And we've just gone through Mara's signature process in her training and building communities, building women up. It's what I love. It's what I believe in.
Mhm.
I get very excited, so I sometimes get tongue tied, but yes.
It's okay. Oh my God. Okay, so I guess one thing, because of how much experience you have in this space, I want to ask you, like, what are three of the most common lead gen kind of strategies that you see women use that are working now? And then, but also tell us whether it's a fourth or whether it's one of those three, what is your personal favorite one and why?
I'm going to start with my personal favorite one because I think it everything leads back to this. And I think my personal favorite one is actually speaking to people. So if you join a challenge, if you join a membership, if you join a group program, I'm sure we've all done this where you've joined and there's like 50 women or 10 women, and then we're like, oh, there's only 10 women, or it's not enough, or there's 50 women, and I'm going to feel left out and no one's going to notice me. Or we join these Facebook groups and we don't comment on anybody else's posts. So my first one is actually connecting with people. So if you join a Facebook group, if you join a challenge, if you join a training, always introduce yourself, always, because people need to know who you are. And by not introducing yourself, you're not really putting yourself out there. So introduce yourself because everyone's going to say hello in the comments and then connect with everyone in the comments and just be nice and say hello. That's my first thing. And that is my favorite. Always introduce yourself. And even if you're in like a Facebook group that you've been in since 2020, once or twice a year, reintroduce yourself because we learn, we grow, we evolve. So always introduce yourself and connect with people in your comments. The second would be to scroll through the different Facebook groups, challenges, communities, and then when someone else introduces themselves, make sure that you welcome them, even if it's not your Facebook group. Go in, be like, hey, Morris, so lovely to see you here. Love what you've posted. I have a podcast, or this is what I do, and I'd love to have a coffee chat with you because coffee chats have become really, really popular if they're done well. So the third one would be coffee chats. Um, Posting wherever you are, because we're in a lot of Facebook groups, we're in a lot of memberships, and I know we're all in a lot of memberships because there was a stage where I know I did it. I bought every membership possible. And then you got overwhelmed because you're like, I'm in an email membership, I'm in a content membership, I'm in a TikTok membership, I'm in a, there's so many. Um, so the first thing, introduce yourself, greet people when they introduce yourself, always reintroduce yourself. And then what was the next one I was going to say? When you're posting, one of the other leads generations that work really well is coffee chats. So post, hi, looking for coffee chats. This is the topic I want to speak about. And then when people comment back with the people you feel aligned and actually have coffee chats with them. But make sure you only keep them to 30 minutes or else it would take up your whole day. And then from coffee chats, that's where I've met a lot of people, a lot of leads. That has been really great. I think I
Okay.
said 4, yes.
Yeah. Would you say that that is like the most effective way that you've seen your clients grow online, or do they have other methods to fill their communities, let's say?
They have other methods. So if I have a client who wants to build a membership or build their Facebook group or build their school community, the best way to get leads there would be to have a lead magnet and then go look for the biggest Facebook groups, school groups to post your lead magnet in. And then be like, this is my lead magnet. And then people will comment, and that's how you start getting people's emails. So that would be if you have a launch or you are building your Facebook group or you're building your community and you haven't and you want to get a lot of leads and you want to build your email list at the same time, have a really good lead magnet. Now, with AI, lead magnets have become harder to make because you can ask AI anything.
Yeah.
So at one stage, people's lead magnets was literally a checklist. It would be like, here's a checklist on how to start a podcast, and everyone would download it.
Yeah.
Now you need a little bit more than that. So your lead magnet has to lead into your offers of what you're doing. So make them a little more personal, even if they take a little bit longer. So a really great lead magnet, one that I found worked really well for my clients, is asking a question in a Facebook group or on her Facebook or through her emails or on Instagram, any social media platform you're working on a problem people have. Give them 3 options. So for Mara, for you, if you asked me to do lead gen for you, we'd post a question like, are you a mom who doesn't have enough time to run her business? Are you, and then people will be like, I'm a mom that doesn't have time. And then you'd go into their DMs and you'd send a voice note, but you'd personalize it a little bit more because when it's a little more personal, people will respond. So you'd be like, "Hey, it's Mara. I saw your Facebook. You are a new mom. You just have a baby, a newborn baby, and I'm very excited for you. And so this is my advice for you, right?" It personalizes it a little bit because they know you've taken the time out to go and look at their profile, figure out who they are. And that would be if you want a lot of leads and you want to build your email list.
Okay, so this is such a different lead gen strategy than the one that I teach or some of the other speakers on this event. But I think that there's like a misconception out there when it comes to it's like hand-to-hand combat, right? It's like one-to-one, like actually DMing somebody. And I think so many women are afraid to send cold DMs because they feel like there's spammers in our DM. There are every day in all of our
They are.
it's like, no, I'm not responding to this. And you can usually tell in the first 3 or 4 words of somebody's DM. But what you're saying is it's almost like a warm DM that you're sending because of where you're getting that person's name from. And so as long as you're relating it back to that thing and not baiting and switching, you're literally saying, oh my gosh, congratulations, you had a baby. And you know what I mean? So
someone would have commented on your post and you'd be like, "Hey, it's Mara. Thank you for commenting on my post."
yeah.
So then they already know that because also we get lost in the comments that we leave. So if they know you've commented on a post, they're like, "Oh, wait, what is this about?" Right? So yeah. And it's not, "Hey, thank you so much for commenting. Here's a PDF." It's,
Yeah.
"I looked at your profile. Love it." And the thing is, we try and like fill our leads so quickly where we're like, I have this lead magnet. I need 100 people in a day. But then people join your lead magnet, they join your Facebook group, your community, and then they're like, I kind of really don't know who you are, so I'm not going to engage. So I'm going to kind of feel my way through it. Where if it's kind of a warm lead, people are already in and they're like, hey, this is really cool. Thank you for the voice notes. I love what you said. I also looked at your profile. I would love a coffee chat, or I love what you're offering, and this really is right for me right now. It personalizes it a little bit. We all hate cold DMs, especially when, and I don't know if you've ever received a DM where they've sent it to you using someone else's name, and you're like, I'm not going to respond to you. But even if I get DMs from people and they're like, look, are you looking for an appointment setter? I always respond with, thank you so much for sending me a message, but not right now. Because I've been on the other side where clients have asked me to send DMs, and you kind of feel bad when people don't respond. So I try my best to respond. But Facebook gets very busy.
I always say if you're sending out a whole bunch of messages, so for example, this weekend we were just talking about how I was reaching out for speakers for my summits coming up all the way through September.
Right.
And I sent out 37 messages this weekend. And so I do take the time to go and actually look at people's profile, check out their content, get their vibe. So I actually know why I would want to host them on one of my summits. And I think that I only got one no so far out of 37. And
That's amazing.
I got most women, even like what I call my lobster list, which are like entrepreneurs that are such big names to me that I feel like they're celebrities kind of. I have three that already said yes to me. And it's like if you don't ask, you never know. But if you
Yes.
personalize a message, most people, because they're real people, will actually respond. And so I also find that when it comes to DMing, especially for lead gen, a lot of people feel like, oh, I don't want to send cold leads because I don't want to be spammy and I don't want to be gross and I don't want to be this and I don't want to be that. But you take a totally different approach. And I think there's a lot of women out there that are very, very good at having those conversations and creating that relationship based, you know,
Mm.
I don't know. It's like it's almost like you start with the relationship first. Like a coffee chat is not necessarily going to give you a sale, but it very much might give you somebody who might refer you to somebody else or who you might be able to collaborate with or whatever. And then you get in front of somebody who would be potentially a lead. And so
Right.
how do you track like your leads? Like how do you, because I know you're a huge connector. That is like one of your super strengths, right? If you need to know
Yes.
somebody who knows something about something, you just contact Maylene and she will point you in the right direction because she knows everybody. And so I have no doubt that you are a DM strategist on this stuff because you know everybody. Like it feels like you know everybody. Um,
I feel like I do as well. A lot of people say that. A lot of people like, hey, can you refer someone or DM someone for me? Um, I don't actually keep a list because I keep every day Facebook sends you people's birthdays, and every day I will go to those people and be like, happy birthday, like private DM and on the page. But if it's someone I've met from school that never posts on Facebook and I don't even speak to, then I'll unfriend them because that also helps me clear my list on Facebook.
yeah.
So I think keeping engaged with people, then you're like, oh, happy birthday. I just saw you had a baby. Congratulations. Um, and Facebook, I think I get maybe 15 birthdays a day, so it's not even a lot. But it also really helps to clear out the people that I no longer need in my Facebook group.
Mhm. Yeah. I think
Mm.
there's another piece of this where people feel like DM strategies are take too long. Would you say that that would be the pushback you often get, or?
It does. I have had clients where, as a community manager, my job is to speak to people and welcome people. So sometimes you'd get like 20 people in a Facebook group and I'll welcome them individually. And clients are like, that just takes too much of your time. Um, don't you just want to just say at everyone? And I'm like, no, because you have to make it personal if you want them to buy. Like, just say, hello, welcome. This is the Facebook group. Some people respond, some people don't. I take it you have to build relationships. And it's not like 2020, 2021, 2022, where you just want the most amount of people. A lot of people are just a little more scarce about who they speak to. A lot of people have started, left the industry. And the thing is, I know you're building a business for long term. It's not a short term business. So taking an extra 10 minutes out of your day to send a DM could bring you a lead. It could bring you a lead later in life, but people remember that. I have
I,
a client who was doing a launch and we needed to sign up people. And I was wishing her client or her Facebook friends happy birthday. And someone signed up just because we wished them happy birthday. Now I did it through her profile. And she was like, this lady signed up because you wished her happy birthday. And she said, thank you. And I didn't know that I wished her happy birthday. And I'm like, it's the small things that count. The
yeah,
small things.
I think
Mm.
especially, I don't know if you're finding this, but for me, from what I'm like, I'm speaking to a lot of other entrepreneurs too, and especially in the higher ticket, like offers where you want higher proximity, what you also want is somebody to actually give a shit about you.
Mm. Yes.
And and when somebody actually takes the time to wish you a happy birthday, even if they're not asking you for anything, it just builds a weird level of like connection and trust. And it's almost like your heart lets down its guard a little bit more. You know what I
Yes.
mean? In a
It's
world
a
where,
sales psychology thing. Sorry, it's a sales psychology thing. I forget what it's called now. It's called you know, when you do a favor for someone or someone gives you something, so you kind of feel like you need to give them something back. There's a
law of
sales
reciprocity.
psychology. Yes, there we go. The law of reciprocity, where you're like, okay. So even when I refer people to someone else, they're like, Maylene, thank you for referring me. I'd love to refer you. Just like let me know what it is you're doing or selling. So just keeping those relationships open, keeping the doors open
Hmm.
helps. Mm.
Okay, so quick question. If someone came to you and said, I have this launch coming up, I have like a group program, I want to put 20 people in, my email list is 1,000 people or 500 people, and I want to build it in my Facebook group, even if it's new or trying to revive an old one or whatever. What would your best advice be for like, okay, here's exactly what we're going to do. Let's say we have a 90-day window because everybody wants everything to happen in 90 days, but
Yes.
just to get the momentum going and to give them the best shot at filling that program with, let's say, 20 people. What would be the
I
actual action steps each day, and how much time would you put into certain things that would be key before you do any of the other things?
Okay. If you wanted to launch something and you're building your Facebook group, school, or any membership, I would always start with a challenge or a masterclass, something people can come and get to know you. A challenge run over 3 to 5 days allows people to really get to know you. So Telegram is really great. I love Telegram. I love just being able to send voice notes, people being able to send voice notes at any point in time. Masterclasses on Zoom are really great as long as they're not like 3, 4 hours long, where people just don't have the attention span. So first, run a masterclass or a challenge. What makes a challenge much more fun than a masterclass is the gamification side of it, where you're like, okay, you've joined, but if you join with a friend, you win a prize. Those who are involved win a prize. And people, we're still like, we love games. We're still little kids inside. We want to win the prizes, okay? And we still want to look good. So you know that if you join a challenge, you're joining it to make more sales. Let's say it's to make more sales. And you're going to get the training on how to make more sales. But in order to make more sales, you've got to go through these 5 steps. You got to introductory post of yourself. You've got to invite a friend. You've got to tag people, and running a challenge, making it fun, making it not feel like it's work for people and it's different, makes people excited about their business as well, because you can get it from AI. You can do the same sales challenges, but if there's a challenge and it's exciting and you're meeting other people and you're all in this like excited party vibe, it makes it more fun.
I feel like that was so like prominent like 10 years ago, like those
Mm.
types of like Facebook group with the challenge and the this and the that. And I feel like we've kind of lost that mojo along the way. And so bringing it back now, you just have to be a little more creative, right? But everybody's looking for a Starbucks gift card, or everybody's looking to be recognized,
Yes.
and seen. And everybody wants to help someone. Like you said, the law of reciprocity. If you're delivering a ton of value inside this thing, they're more than happy to invite other people who are going to get value from it. And what a crazy easy way to generate leads as well without even feeling like you're doing it.
Yeah, and your freebie or your challenge has to be fun. It can't be. I've seen a lot of people doing challenges this year where they're giving more than they ever have. They're showing up every single day. They're doing more trainings, more master classes. So you have to give a little bit more. If you are just starting your business and you're making between 0 to 5K, you have to put in the hours. Like if you don't have the money, you're gonna have to be responding to you and I in a challenge now where people had to respond to each other. I know I didn't get response. I know I responded to 5 people. I could respond to more people. So just respond to a lot more people and keep people engaged. Also, because you're responding on their socials, you're also building engagement and relationship there. And when you're in a challenge with people and you like a post of them, let them know where you found them. Just be like, I love this. I met you in this challenge. This is what I'm doing for the future, or I have a podcast. Because that's already a really hot lead. You're already in the same group. You already love the same things. You have the same values. So the chances of you building a relationship are better.
I love that. How much do you use collaboration for lead gen?
For myself, a lot. For my clients, not so much. I think it depends on the client. So I have a client who loves using ads. So all of her lead gen, all of her sales, everything comes from ads. I did an ads challenge that I bought, and she was explaining how it's harder for content to reach your people now unless it's very specific. And so running ads just for leads or just to engage with people has become the new way to run ads. It's not just for sales. It's to buy things, but also to get people in your world. So there are some people who are like, I hate ads, and other people who are like, I just want everything organic. Organic is just going to take you longer. So my clients have teams where we're DMing people, we're commenting with people, we're posting 5 times a day on every single platform. We are boosting all the posts. So it depends. Do you have money for, if you could do both, do both.
Mm-hmm.
But it also depends which stage of business you're in. Because if you're more well known, you don't have to do a lot of lead gen, but you do have to deliver at a higher quality level because people expect more from you and they expect difference.
Interesting.
Mm.
I know that you work in the back end of like a lot of 7 and 8 figure businesses. And so what would you say the biggest advice you would give somebody who's trying to crack that first 6 figure ceiling would be?
Wow, that's such a good question because most of my clients have made 6 figures over the past couple of months and everything's changed. I think the truth is AI is scaring everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what income level you're at. We're all looking on the back end going, where can we use AI? So a lot of people are creating smaller lead magnets or how to making with ChatGPT. I would say I believe in communities and relationships. I think if you start building your communities and you are real with people, more people will be attracted to you. I think what you're doing right now with summits and doing live events and talking to people is great because people want to see people. Also, this will like live on forever. Um, but yeah, my clients who have cracked like their first 100K, when even when I ask them that question, they're like, I showed up every single day and I put in the hard work. Because sometimes we feel like they don't. And once you've already made like your 100K 6 figures, the way they spend money is different because then they're hiring a social media manager, then they're hiring a community manager, and all they're doing is working on their masterminds. So their offer suite is also different. So when you're starting, you need like one offer that you can sell and stick to because if you have like 10, it just dilutes everything and then you don't know what you're getting lost. Where at that level, they're like, I can do 3 masterminds and meet women every second week or do like one VIP day.
Yeah.
So the
So
income is
just,
different. What I've noticed about women who are like reaching the $1 million levels or like 500K and up is their vision is really solidified in their vision. Where when you haven't made your zero to first 10K, you're like, I really, I really have to show up every day. I really need to make this work. I've got so many bills. Like the stress level is just different. And
yeah.
so everything feels heavy. Like this post has to work and this relationship has to work and this lead has to work. And at their levels, they don't have that stress. So I think also making it a little more fun when you're starting your business and not being like, oh, I have to like DM 20 people today and I really don't feel like doing another lead magnet or posting the same thing again. I was speaking to like a 8 figure coach the other day and she literally reposted the exact same post from last year. And I was like, really? I didn't even notice that. She's like, yes, like nothing's changed. I'm reposting the exact same post. I'm like,
Like
wow, okay.
like her whole content from a year ago?
Yes, and it still does well because it's what she believes in and what she says makes sense. And she's like, not everybody sees your content when you put it out there. Um, but when you're starting your business, you're like, this one piece of content has to look so amazing. It has to have the best hook. It has to like convert immediately. And you're like, no, wait, you have to create like 100 pieces of content just to like get people to know you, right? And
Yeah.
start buying.
I love that. There's a new set of challenges that comes at every level, right? But
Yes,
you're
there
right. It
is.
does. Everything feels so heavy. And I think that's actually one of the main reasons why so many women pivot and jump from strategy to strategy all the time is because when they're stressed about money or they're stressed about making it work or they're stressed out, everything feels heavy and everything feels like it has to work and they're holding on so tight. Like I'm the first one to talk about how that is so true for me too. And I think that once you kind of, it's almost like, you know, when you take off on an airplane, it's super foggy, and then all of a sudden you just come up above the clouds and it's a perfectly sunny day. Like
I love that
you're still
analogy.
in the
Yes.
same airspace, you know, like
Yes.
you're still right above wherever you are in the world, but you just see the world differently all of a sudden.
Yeah. And I think what I found is in the online space as a coach, you need a lot more space and time for yourself. And I don't know for you because you're a mom of four, which is amazing. Like hats off to all the moms out there. But I found that I used to come from corporates where I had managed a lot of businesses with a lot of team and a lot of staff, and we were on like 6 days a week. And so when I came into the online space, I was like, I need to be busy for these 12 hours a day. And you're like, actually, no, you just need to sit alone and figure out what you're doing. And then you got to figure out the content. And some days it takes me a day to create content, and then you hate it because it didn't do anything. And then
Yeah.
on a random day, you'll post like I'm sitting drinking my coffee on the veranda, just thinking about how this client done great, and they will get like hits, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just did the best hook content that nobody loved, right?
Stop overthinking it.
That's the thing. We overthink every single thing, and then you speak to the bigger coaches, and they're like, well, you stick to your vision and you know it's going to work, and every piece of content you post is just like a diary entry of your day and who you were and who you were with and what you did and how it impacted people. So yeah.
Yeah. And also like one piece of content is never like it never is the thing. It's never like what do they call it? Like the linchpin or whatever. Like it's
But
never
we feel like it.
that converts everybody. It's like it's all the things that you do all together and they evoke trust in other people. And when somebody trusts themselves in your vehicle with your mentorship, with you know, and trust
Hmm.
themselves to follow through, that's when you're going to have, you know, clients come in and sign. So tell me, oh, do you want to say something on that one?
No, no.
I was just going to say, tell me what your freebie is. So it's 5K in 5 days. What is that?
Yes, so I've done a lot of lead gen for clients, basically only using Facebook groups. So we use Facebook groups to get your leads, to help you find people. So 5K in 5 days was a challenge I ran to help people understand Facebook and how to use Facebook groups. Because what I found, and I work in a lot of Facebook groups behind the scenes, is that people go into Facebook groups and then they post, um, I have an offer on how to create an AI image. And then they'll be like, it didn't work in this group. Let me try the next group and the next group and the next group because there's a million Facebook groups out there. So what you need to do is, and this for everybody, pick your top 3 to 5 Facebook groups only, and then only post in those for at least 6 months. And you have to follow the rules because people will ban you and your Facebook won't be like your posts won't be seen. So yeah. I've been a Facebook expert for a long time. So I do love Facebook, and that's where I get most of my clients.
And you are a firm believer that Facebook groups are not dead.
They're not dead. I think there are some that are dead, but I think the reasoning why some people create Facebook groups. So there are some groups out there which are specifically for promotion, where you go in there, you pay them $100 a month, and you can promote once or twice a week. And that works because they've got the volume and so many people, and women know about it. And if you're new and that's your like model that you want to do, it's going to take you a while to get there because you have to spend quite a bit of money. But there are people that I've seen where there's one lady, she has a Facebook group and she comes in once a week and she does a live. Lives don't always convert really well. They don't. If anyone's going to say they don't always. But she comes in once a week. She does a live. Every day she posts about her life and what she's doing. And she gets a lot of clients from that just because she's showing up as who she is, sharing her day.
Mhm.
And I think it also depends on where your clients are. Like TikTok for me doesn't work. Um, Facebook works, and then I just love Instagram sometimes because I connect with a lot of people in the DMs in Instagram for some reason.
Yeah, Instagram's become my favorite as a user. So I we were talking about this before we jumped on this call, but I'm like, if there's one thing that is a blazing red flag in my business right now that does not work or do me any favors, it's in my Instagram. So in Mara fashion, I'm going to stop, decide and move, figure out exactly what I'm gonna do, get it done, and then I don't have to let it like leak any of my energy. I call it an energy vampire, something that's like always in the back of your mind bugging you.
Yes.
And it steals your authority and it steals your confidence and it steals your energy. And so I'm like, this is getting fixed this week, no matter what. I don't care if I'm up till midnight. Oh, it's driving me nuts. But anyways, but now,
And it does because with Instagram, I feel like we put the stress on ourselves because it has to look a certain way. And I've gotten those DMs from so many social media people who are like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "You could, but at the end of the day, I'm not great at graphics or making it look pretty. Like words on a page is what I do, and that's why I do well on Facebook as well."
I think so. Facebook was always where I signed clients from too, my email list and Facebook, which I don't show up on Facebook as much as I used to. And because I just show up on Instagram and then it flows through. But for me, this is like a prime example. For me, it's like it has to be voice or my face or my energy. Like that's what magnetizes people to me. For you, it's your written word. I
Yeah.
just told you before we jumped on here, like the post you wrote about your sister made me feel like I knew you as a person on such a deep level. Like it was crazy. And I commented on it. I was like, thank you for sharing this. Oh my gosh, like wow. And so I think that's another thing that we have to keep saying is whether it's your lead gen strategy that you're picking or anything else, it's like every single one of us has to do our businesses the way that feels good to us. And you tap
Mm,
into your strengths and what lights you up and what excites you and what actually is enjoyable for you. Because otherwise, why wouldn't we just go back to corporate? You know?
true.
Okay,
And
so
I think there is a real level of burnout. I don't know if you've experienced this, and you can probably talk to this because you're like a mom with 4 kids. I don't have kids. Where because I do so much lead gen for clients and I'm always in the DMs and commenting, like from Friday to Monday, I don't open my own socials. And sometimes I go back to posts and I'm like, I forgot to comment on this. I must have been really tired that day. And I feel so guilty. I do. I really do. But yes, for you as a mom, burnout, getting leads, how do you feel about that?
well, when Brielle was born, so that's my fourth, that was 3 and a bit years ago. And I kind of just disappeared off the map for a while. Like I was a little bit here in my email list and a little bit here on socials, but not really. And I was behind the scenes building like a bunch of low ticket courses for beginners because I really love helping women make the leap out of corporate into online biz. But the part that lights me up is once they actually are going and they're ready to go sell out a high ticket offer, that's my sweet spot where I get so lit up because that's where somebody really needs help to start, leaning into who they really are and bringing a real vision to the
Mm,
forefront. And that's what I always talk about, find your fire to go build your empire. And I fully believe that that is going to be the ticket for me as well. And I will
I love that.
yeah, I will talk about this until I die. Like fire to empire. That's my thing. I'm going to create a whole live event about it for a retreat and everything. Um, but
That is amazing.
at the end of the day, it was like I felt burnt out, but I also was very, I think I still have a little bit of PTSD from my corporate career because I was so burnt out and I was so unfulfilled. And it was like everybody was like around me, everybody thought that I looked so successful, and on paper I did, but inside I was just absolutely like empty and dying. And I didn't even remember what I liked anymore. And so part of my whole making the leap out of corporate is helping women figure out first what they don't want, because sometimes you don't even know what you want because you've forgotten. And remember I told you about like the whack-a-mole, like you
Yes.
get whack-a-mole back down into the ground so many times in life, and it's accidental, usually from well-meaning people, that you don't even know who you are anymore or what you want. So that's where I wanted to start.
And
And
I think in corporate, we're taught to, because being in corporate is difficult on its own as a female, and there's so much for you to do. Because I was like one of 2 females in my team. Um, so yeah.
I was the
Oh,
only salesperson in my company. It
oh
was
my goodness.
yeah, and I got top spot one of the year, and then I was just second the next year. but I was like on fire. But I hated it because everybody hates insurance. Nobody wants to buy it and nobody wants to deal with claims. And that was what I represented. And I hate it because I don't like it when people don't like me. You know what I mean? Like that's just the thing for me.
Yes.
I don't like it. I would much rather do something where I'm actually helping somebody feel good, not helping
Yes.
them with a claim because their giant directional drill fell into the ditch over the weekend. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, wow.
it
Yeah.
was just crazy. I was oil and
You
gas and
get stuck
construction.
in paperwork.
Oh, it was dealing with the people. I love dealing with people, but not about stuff like insurance, which was what I was selling. So I had to get out of there. And so I just knew there had to be a better way. And so part of my whole theory on what women need to do when it comes to finding your fire, it's not just when you're leaving corporate and trying to figure out what to go and do next. It's also once you get into business and realize you've been spinning in circles forever. And now you know so many strategies and you know so much information, you don't know what to do with it. And you just feel like, oh. And then it's like, hey,
Yes.
let's ground you into who you are, what you want to do, who you actually want to serve, how you want to show up and work. Like that's also finding your fire. So that's also picking a strategy for visibility. That's picking a strategy for lead gen. That's picking a strategy for sales. That's literally doing something that actually makes you excited about your business and your life. I was talking to you about that before
Right.
on the recording. It was like my business actually feels like a vacation from my life to me sometimes. And I need that. Like I can't not
Which is
have that.
amazing.
So I took a step back and I was like dying on the inside for the last few years because I wasn't showing up and being who I know I can be. And that
Yeah.
crushes you. So I don't know how
What
that
do
choice
you
is
think?
going, but
What do you think is the one thing, now that you've worked in corporate for you, what was the hardest thing for you to deal with when you started having your own business?
in terms of mindset or what in terms of what?
So for me, it was, I always had a flexible job, which was amazing, and certain hours, and I'm very structured. So when it came to the online space and I didn't have structure, that's when I burnt out. Because I had a client I was building a Facebook group for, and we had like 300 to 1,000 leads a day. And there
Well,
are days where I'd sit for like 8 hours just going through this. And then I was like, wait, hold on, this isn't a full time job. So for me, the struggle was structure in my day.
mm.
Yeah.
For me, it's because I don't have a boss. Like everybody wants to be their own boss until they realize that there's nobody actually holding you accountable. And that is a different type of skill set that you have to learn as an entrepreneur is holding
Oh,
yourself.
yeah.
And I think that's a huge difference between the women who make it quickly and the ones who just want it. And I
Mm,
actually was going to write a post based on our challenge that I wrote down a quote that I'm going to literally write about today, which is wanting it bad enough and actually going and getting it are two different skill sets. So here's what I mean.
wanting it.
You
Yes.
can create this amazing dream and vision, and you can map out all the strategies and all the plans and all the everything, and you can have the perfectly laid out intention to go and have whatever it is that you want. And you can want it so bad you can taste it. And you can also not take action.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I'm seeing my son go through this all the time. He really wants to make this double A hockey team next year, but he needs to work on his stick handling skills. He's got the speed, he's got the smarts, but he doesn't have the hands. And so it's like,
Okay.
buddy, we're watching you say over and over and over that you want this so bad, but you are not actually going and doing the work that would get you there. And so I found myself being like, holy shit, that's me. And that's why I was like, no more. I anchored in all my events for the rest of the year with the dates that are in my calendar. It's already in my phone. If it's in my phone, it will happen. This is why I'm so passionate about helping ambitious moms, because so often life will pull us off course. But if we have something in our phone that's an actual date that we're already marketing
Yes.
towards, and you have other people that are showing up and you cannot let other people down, it doesn't matter if it's your boss, you will not let other women down. You know what I mean?
True.
You make that commitment,
Very true.
actually follow through. Sometimes you have to anchor into that. And for
For
me,
me,
that's what I needed. I needed to stop letting my business strategy be if I could show up that day.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because when we do it for other women, when we do it for other women or bosses, we're like, you feel guilty if you didn't show up and you didn't do something. Whereas for yourself, you kind of give yourself a little too much leniency
Well,
in the
you always
beginning.
break your own promises to yourself, but it's
Yes.
rare that you won't show up for other people. That's
Yeah.
just human nature.
That's very true.
you
And
know?
like you said, everyone wants to be their own boss. And then you become your own boss. And then you're like, oh, there's all this other stuff I have to do. When am I going to find time to do that? I thought I was supposed to have freedom. And you're like, no, not yet. Not yet.
But the nice thing is if you have anchors in your schedule, then you always know what you're working towards. You never have to start spinning around again trying to figure
Mm,
the things out. You just go do the thing. And then if you have time, you can add all the other fluff. You know what I mean?
yes.
I'm like, don't get fancy, get focused first, right? Like, because that's what I had to do. I had to like look myself in the mirror and be like, you want this bad enough, but you are not doing the things you know you need to do to get there. And you're either going to have to make the decision to stop that and start doing the shit, or you're going to sit
Mm.
exactly where you are another 6 months from now, crying your little eyes out by yourself. You know what I mean?
And I think as a mom, is there no like, I've heard moms talk about mom guilt because I got friends who are moms where they're like, I want to build a business, but I also really want to spend time with my kid.
Yeah, there's all kinds of mom guilt. And I think that every single mom feels it a little bit differently because we're all a little bit, I mean, obviously as humans, we're a little bit
Yes.
differently. For me, I'm actually now starting to feel guilty that I'm not succeeding because now I have been telling my kids that I want to do this for years and have
Okay.
not been able to produce the results that I know that I am capable of. And that's a totally new kind of guilt. So it depends on where you're at in your journey. It depends on what you
So
believe
true.
about being a good mom is. Do you know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
I don't tell women, hey, if you want to be with your kids 100% of the time and only work during nap time or after bedtime, that's not my business model at all. I'm like, no, I have these events on my calendar. I work towards them. I fit it in where I need to, especially if I know I have something coming up. I put calls in my calendar so I make sure that my husband has the kids downstairs if he's on a day off, or my mom will take, 3-year-old, or I'll put her on an iPad if I have to, because she's not going to come and bug me if she's on an iPad. Like I figure it out, but it's so important to me now more than it was ever before that I prove that I'm going to do what I said I was going to do to them because now I'm watching my son not taking the action he needs to take to go hit his goal.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit, I think he learned that from me. That's just a reality check for me. So new level of guilt in a different way that I would have never seen coming last year or 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's where our content comes from, like all around us, noticing things around us.
I think also
Mm.
on the mom guilt conversation, which is so ironic that we're having this convo because you just pulled this out of me, but I got to share it. It's like, I think the part that's the most important for everyone, because I always talk about find your fire, which is what you want instead of what you think you should want.
Yes.
If you feel like you should be working because you want to, that's awesome. If you feel like you should be working because you have to, like not in a like good way, like not in a I really enjoy this and I just have to get this done today and then I can come outside and play or whatever.
Mm.
It's a very different grounding of balance because there is no real balance in mom life. But like if I feel
True.
guilty for not working when I'm spending time with my kids, then I'm not building the business I want. And if I'm feeling guilty when I'm working because I'm not spending time with my, you know what I mean? Like an opposite.
Yes.
It's just like that's not the business I want then. And I have to actually like take a step back and be like, no, 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 no. What is it that I actually want? What would feel amazing for me? How do I want to feel? How do I want my mornings to look? Who do I want to work with? How often do I want to be tied up on calls or on, events and get really
Yeah.
clear on what that vision is first and then go take action from that place so that you don't have to grapple with that all the time. Because I think sometimes people actually use this mom guilt thing as an excuse. And I think that it comes back down to you're doing something that you think you should be doing or shouldn't be doing instead of what you actually want. And
Yeah.
it just gives you permission to go and do the thing that you actually really truly are meant to do.
And then most of the time it's because we don't believe we actually deserve what we want and can have it as well.
Yeah, but also during my
But
find
then
your
it's self-sabotage.
no, during my find your fire exercise that I walk people through, it's like on one side of the page, you write, I want this in terms of how I want to feel, who I want to be, how I want my kids to see me later, blah, 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 blah. And you brainstorm it all out. And then you turn and you write on the other side, I should, dot, dot, dot. And you start writing down, I should be responsible. I should be grateful. I should be, should, until you're done all the shoulds. You just keep repeating, I should, and see what comes out. Then you look at the two, and this is like your soul-led desire, what you're meant to go do, how you really want to live your life. And this stuff is everyone else's voices making you feel guilty. It's
Mm.
everyone else's voice is telling you what you should do or should feel. And once you see them on paper side by side so clearly, you're just like, okay, is this actually true for me? Or is this just something that somebody else put into my head? Because this mom
And
guilt,
separating it.
well, it's like mom guilt about always being with your kids and being present at all times is that's not real. Like that's not realistic for most women. I
Mm.
love being busy.
True.
I love serving other women. I love having conversations like this. And my kids are downstairs. Two of them right now are downstairs, and I don't feel guilty at all for not being down there because I love this stuff. But
And it's being where you are. So enjoying this while you're here and then enjoying your time with your kids when you're with your kids. Yeah.
I think that's another reason why I love the anchored in strategies because when you're anchored in, you know that you don't have to just be constantly racking your brain about what you should be doing to try to get clients. So pick a lead
Mm.
gen strategy that works for the season of life that you're in and that
True.
makes sense for your personality and for your ideal clients and everything should work together so that you don't have to feel guilty and you don't have to feel like crap about not making it work or whatever. That's where most
Yeah, because that's true. Because you can pick a lead gen strategy that someone else, try all of them and then find which one works for you, right?
yeah,
Like you said, for your season in life, for how much time you have.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
makes
me,
sense.
I couldn't follow. There were a lot of coaches that I followed early on, especially that weren't moms, and it was like we weren't the same because we didn't have the same hours in a day. We didn't have the same ability to stay consistent all day, every day. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like it was very different. And so I found myself trying to replicate the results, and it was just like pulling my hair out because I had everybody asking me for something around me. You know what I mean? Whereas if I
Yes.
have these kinds of like anchors in my schedule, it actually allows me to breathe and I just know exactly what's coming and what's going on. And it's just like so nice to know. So we
And
went,
you need that.
yeah,
So
you
yeah,
did that. We went way over time. This was such a fun conversation though. This happened last time too.
this
Oh
was
my God.
lovely.
Love talking to you. Okay, so 5K in 5 days. If you would like to go in and see that challenge, that is very much about a Facebook group and how to get leads from Facebook groups and make money. Yes?
Yes.
Grab that from Maylene. Is there anything else at the end that you would like to leave everyone with about choosing a lead gen strategy or executing a lead gen strategy or anything?
I think it's trying on the different lead gen strategies and finding what works for you. What really, really works for me is not the DMs. It is creating a post and then making sure you comment on everybody's post. But it's really important, I think, introductory posts. Because when was the last time you introduced yourself in every single Facebook group you're on? Like most
Never,
people don't.
never.
See? So today, everybody's watching this. Go find your top 10 Facebook groups and introduce yourself and then say hello to everybody else. You'll start getting a lot of leads that way.
You can literally start there.
Yes, that's where I would start. So, yes, thank you so much for this. This has been amazing. It was nice chatting to you.
Thank you. Okay, I will drop Maylene's contact info and the link to her 5K in 5 days. So definitely go and grab that. And if you have questions, this is a lady who will literally just be such a beautiful soul in the DMs. Go message her with any questions that you have or anything that came up today because she truly is a connector and she will help you out. That is her heart. And thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Bye.